So there's David Icke and the Reptilians, and the Stuart Wilde also talked about the Reptilians. I talk to Reptilians, and genuinely, Reptilians have a tendency of being very hard to like because they're pretty much horribly egotistical, horribly self-centered, and they like to hurt other people for fun. There are cases of reptilians who have become not reptilian. What makes someone reptilian? It is mostly an unbelievably difficult problem called an aberration. An aberration is a stuckness. Being highly stuck is an aberration, and they're stuck in being nasty. What do you need to know about you becoming unstuck from your nasty traits? Maybe you're not a nasty person. Maybe you are. The point is, if you are a nasty person and you are stuck with your aberration, you're headed for a never-ending life in hell. Now, Stuart Wilde, the metaphysical writer, said people who are like this are quite happy in hell. They prefer hell. They prefer to be nasty, and that's just the way it is. Now, there was an old book called Pilgrim's Progress, and it was the story of the pilgrim who went through a world and in search of goodness, I suppose. And along the way, he met a lot of characters, and he got people that would give him advice about you got to keep moving, don't get stopped, and settle down. In cities, for example, because people in the cities will convince you that everything is fine there, but they're pretty much reptilian. In the cities, you'll find people who have a good life being a banker or an accountant. And the best example of a banker is Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Carol. They play it at Christmas time. He's a miser. He keeps everything for himself. And modern day banks are exactly that way. They keep everything for themselves. So I'm going to give you an example. This is my Royal Mutual Fund from Royal Bank of Canada, and it's my latest statement. Now, I first put money into this mutual fund in 1994, let's say. It was because I had left a job, and the job, instead of giving you a pension, they gave you a payout. And so it was a locked-in retirement savings plan. And I put money into a Canadian equity fund of the Royal Bank of Canada. So that was 26 years ago. And when they gave me money, they gave me about $7,000. So my statement says value on March 31st, 2020, $6,200. Value December 31st, 2019, before the stock market crashed, $8,200. Now, even if you went with the $8,200 from December 31st, that's $1,200 that I've made on this account in 26 years. That's nominal dollars, because I was looking at the US dollar. In that time frame, the US dollar, a US dollar today is worth, or is it the other way around? $1.75 it costs you to buy something today that costs you to buy a dollar's worth of it 26 years ago. So inflation has almost made a dollar worth, I don't know, like 60 cents. So I've lost all kinds of money in the Royal Bank of Canada in the past 26 years. So if you're a young person and they're telling you to invest in any kind of fund whatsoever, don't. Don't, because you cannot make money in mutual funds. But this just proves that everything to do with financial markets is run by reptilians, and they're going to steal your money. What is a better way to invest your money? Don't invest your money. What's the best thing to do? Meditate every day, so your soul can come to give you the best possible options. And if you're an example like me, the best possible options are not too much pleasantry, because we live in a world that is very horrible. It's a hell world. How did we get into hell world? Some people came here to help the world. That's according to Dolores Cannon, the 3 Waves of Volunteers, and you could watch her video on YouTube. Some people are just naturally happy in hell, and that's why you find bankers in cities. Now, unlike Pilgrim's Progress, that story you could keep traveling around to finally find heaven. In this world, it's not so much the way. This world, primarily what you're doing is you're meditating and meditating and meditating so you can drop your ego. Ego stands for edging God out. And if you don't meditate, you don't have a chance in hell. You're going to be eaten alive by the reptilian people. Stuart Wilde actually said that there's a phenomenon called the Morph, where when the Morph came in, he could actually see these reptilian people for what they are. I've never seen a reptilian person, do a reptilian shapeshift like some of these stories that come from David Icke. But Stuart Wilde wrote that he did see some of these oddball things, and he's seen the Morph. I have seen the Morph, especially if you go out at nighttime and you look at the sky and you see the sky look kind of pixelated. That is the Morph phenomenon. If you want to read more Stuart Wilde articles, they're available at stuartwilde.com. I didn't meditate when I was young because no one knew anything about meditation. We never had the internet, and we didn't have Stuart Wilde. How did Mr. Wilde find out so much about things? I think he meditated quite a bit, and he said that he was a vegetarian. So if you eat meat, I'm going to suggest that you stop eating meat. Stop eating fish. My body decided to stop. For a long time after I was meditating, the body still ate meat. But recently it quit it. It doesn't eat fish, and strangely, it doesn't eat eggs. And I wondered about eggs because I didn't think, you're not doing too much. But apparently what happens with chickens is with laying hens, if they lay male live eggs, some of the eggs you eat, they are not fertilized. But the eggs that are fertilized, if they are male, the farmer kills them on the first day. So there's a massive slaughter of male chicks. So I think that's why we're not eating eggs, because we don't want to support chicken farmers in any way, whether they're egg producers or they're chicken to eat. We're not buying them anymore. We don't buy any meat, and we don't buy any fish. We don't buy shrimp. We're eating vegetarian. And the reason why for a long time this body didn't go vegetarian was because it lived in a house of a lot of people who ate meat, and it was felt that it was better to eat the meat than to let it go to spoil. And I've seen this family throw away meat, let it go bad. And anyway, apparently the vibration that I need to carry doesn't allow me to even eat the meat that they're wasting. So I'm vegetarian now, and it is absolutely horrible, the slaughterhouses of the animals on planet Earth. So recommendation, I strangely do still drink milk. It's not me choosing it, the body chooses it, and the answer is it's not very good either. And probably at some point I'm going to stop drinking milk. But apparently it's still considered to be okay. But as we are going through Earth ascension to higher dimensions and higher consciousness, the feeling is at some point, unless you have a very pleasant farm where the cow gets to go out and graze all day, it's not going to work, because the cows are kept artificially producing milk in some fashion. A normal cow, I don't know if there is a normal cow anymore because they've been kept as agricultural products for so long. But, it's just like a human mother. It produces milk while the child is sucking on the breasts. But once that child doesn't need milk anymore, then the cow or the mother, a human mother, doesn't produce milk. So it's kind of a phony thing for to force the cow. And anyway, I'm thinking at some point I'm going to stop drinking milk. And I don't know when, because it's not me who decides, it's the body who decides. Stuart Wilde talked about UFOs, and he said he didn't think there was any friendly UFOs. He thought UFOs were to be avoided. A lot of times the things that he called UFOs weren't really, well, I don't know, he would see things like, do you remember the video game Donkey Kong? It'd be like sprites from Donkey Kong from that old video game. That's what he would see in the Morph, and he called them UFOs. Are there extraterrestrials that are friendly and benevolent? The answer is, I think so. I think the Arcturian Council that Daniel Scranton channels, they say they're Arcturian. I think they're pleasant things. Anyway, the whole point of this lecture is to let you know that you should consider the things I'm talking about, and you should definitely be meditating quite a bit, which means you're probably going to have to do a lot of changes in your life, and do them soon, because otherwise you're going to be eaten by reptiles. As it is, I'm hassled every day by reptilians. They're not in the physical. Stuart Wilde called them transdimensional, which means they live in the lower astral, which is another dream world. It's highly negative and toxic, and the reptilians that bother me, I'm pretty sure that's where they are. Or they're somewhere on planet Earth, and they're using some kind of technology to hassle me. Sometimes we wonder if some of these reptilians can change, and the best guess that we have is that some of them can stop being nasty reptilians. Some of them have the aberration, which is simply they're stuck being nasty, and they've been nasty for a long